Namaste my fellow strikers, Holy Materia here, back with another Shinobi Striker video. Today we're going to be talking about a Moon Sword Susanoo armor counter build, so let's get right into it. Alright, so yeah, this build is actually one of my favorite defense base builds to run anyway, besides that I changed out the ninja tool, so, but that sort of is what makes it be able to work well the way it does now. We got Sand Shower and the Earth style Earth Bullets with the new buff too, so we talked a little bit about this in the last build video, but because both of these moves are unblockable, the Susanoo armor can't really do anything about them. So the moves will just eat away at the Susanoo armor, even though like he's not moving around and stuff. And since they're both at a distance, the Moon Sword can't hit you because you can just put them down from farther away and just keep chipping away at their health little by little. And then since this might end up being like kind of like a war of attrition where you're just both kind of outlasting each other, trying to outlast each other, the Master of Medicine is really good too. And then plus since it makes you not flinch against certain stuff, that also helps. So if they got the full cheese with the Nido Jizo, these moves won't really help you with the Nido Jizo part, but as soon as they come out of that, you can still start hitting them, so the Susanoo armor won't do anything to help. So yeah, but this dude was actually running the Toad instead of Nido Jizo, so it's not the full cheese. But he still had the Moon Sword and Susanoo, and I ran into somebody else who had a similar build, and yeah, I did that dude in too with the same thing. So this is, like I said, this build is something I've been using for a while anyway, so it already works well on base just in general. So it's not just to counter those, but it can also counter, so that's like a big plus. So it'll work no matter who you're fighting against, and then it can also counter the Susanoo armor and the Moon Sword cheese. So it's like a modified Summon Master build. So basically just switched out the Summoning Toad with the Sand Shower, and that was my normal build anyway. And then for the ult, we got to bring down the House Jutsu, which has been my favorite defense ult. And because both of your moves slow down your opponent, it's super easy to hit that ult because they can't get away from it in time when they're slowed down. So as long as you hit them with one of the things and slow them down, they most likely won't be able to escape your ultimate. Just make sure they don't have the Susanoo armor on anymore. So yeah, the Earth style Earth Dragon Bullet, it's been one of my favorite jutsu in the game since season 1. I always used to run this on my base builds. So like we talked about last time, I got a new buff where if you're locked onto somebody, when you put it down, it will go toward that target whenever it gets put down. But you can still use it the old way if you're not locked on, and it'll just aim wherever you're facing. So it has a 1 in power, 2 in range, and has a 17-second cooldown, and it's the best when it comes to for all the summons when it comes to cooldowns, because when you put it down, it starts the cooldown. So unlike most of the other summons where it doesn't start going on cooldown until the summon is gone, this one you get it back really fast because it starts the cooldown as soon as you put it down. And it says, in this jutsu, the user utilizes Earth style chakra to create a dragon head, which fires countless earth elemental projectiles from a fixed position, reduces the movement speed of any target it hits. So yeah, it's great to aim at like the center of the base. So yeah, make sure you place it like off of the base and then it's aiming towards the center. And even like the farther back it is, because the shots kind of like go out wide like a shotgun. So if you have a good distance, and it will cover almost the whole base, like the blast radius. And like not only does it do decent damage and knock them away, but it also, since it slows them down, it makes it harder for them to get back to the base. So yeah, this has been one of my go-to moves, but it's even better with the buff, and it works great with this build too, and to counter the Susanoo armor Moon Sword stuff. Because even with stuff that like where a defense type gets super armor, this move is great with it because they're not moving, so they're just taking all that damage, all those hits. And then we got my favorite jutsu in the whole game, or at least tied for my favorite jutsu, Sand Shower. So this one has a 3 in power, 4 in range, has a 15-second cooldown. So this jutsu hardens sand into pellets and fires them. The attack lasts for a period of time and will lower the movement speed of any targets in range. So yeah, I try to always put this one, I try to wait for somebody to get onto the base and then use it so that the sand is just raining on the base, and people end up like walking back into it and getting KO'd sometimes. So it just has great utility, and especially because it's ranged, and the ult that we're using is also ranged, you can just use both back to back. So like hit somebody with even a single one of the sand pellets and they'll be slowed, and then you can use your ult. And then speaking of the ult, we got to bring down the House Jutsu, my favorite ultimate in the whole game, or my favorite ultimate for defense types. So this one has a 5 in power, 3 duration, so you get it back pretty fast. I usually get it at least 2, maybe 3 times in a match. It says a jutsu where the user summons a super heavy toad over a target's head and crushes them. The shockwave created sends surrounding enemies flying. So yeah, it's a perfect move for base because people are always like grouped up in the same spot, and when you got that all that sand and the earth hitting them and slowing them down, it's even better because more people will get caught up in it. And you can even do it at a distance, like if you're having a hard time getting to the base, you can hit somebody with this to make sure they don't cap the base. So yeah, man, this has been one of my go-to builds for defense for a long time, but now with the Master of Medicine, it's even better. So definitely highly recommend it, and the fact that it could counter like the Susanoo armor just makes it all that much more better. So I'm super hyped about it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the build, and let me know if you have any other counters to the Moon Sword, Susanoo armor type of builds, especially for defense types, because I don't really see that many that are good counters that are defense. Like to use another defense type to counter that defense. So yeah, let me know what you guys have. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody stay safe out there. Peace and love.